gorgeous rest. Why would she attempt to talk to death? Was turkey willing and really take a chance on it all? It's the Sharyn Show with me, Sharyn Gorgeous, and a new and improved plate. Look at that. You can read it now, but it's still backwards. So eventually this is what's been on here the whole time, by the way. My friend at Cat's Astrology Records, aka Ness, 4, 3, 2. Who is Sharyn Gorgeous Rest? Why would she attempt to talk to death? Was turkey willing and really take a chance on it all? It's the Sharyn Show with me, Sharyn Gorgeous, and a new and improved plate. Look at that. You can read it now, but it's still backwards. So eventually this is what's been on here the whole time, by the way. My friend at Cat's Astrology Records, aka Ness, suggested that I perhaps maybe use Sharpie so you could actually read what the hell is on the plate. So I'm like, yeah, I have a black Sharpie. Why haven't I thought of this before? But it says backwards in bubble letters, the Sharyn Share-alike show. And then it says something on the bottom. Oh no, alike show. I can't read backwards either. You're really asking a lot of me. Anyway, so enough of that. Speaking of all things Sharyn, somebody named Sharyn made a complaint at like a Costco saying how she wouldn't go in unless they repealed the mask thing, and now everybody's writing whatever Sharyn. I'm like, it's Karen! Don't ruin it for all Sharyns. Hey, Mark. So, basically, yeah, that it wasn't me anyway, because I don't go to Costco unless I'm like working or something. But chances are I don't work at I used to do like these like clothing, not quite modeling, but like sort of like being like a sales rep, I don't know, for companies that were in Canada and had schlocky clothes that were ridiculous prices. Anyway, so hey Tina. So basically yeah, so it wasn't me, but you know, let's keep the trend of whatever Sharyn at a minimum, because Sharyns are cool. Some Karens are cool too, actually. Actually, I don't know anybody who's not cool because I won't be friends with them then. Because what's the point, really? Anyway, so, and by cool I mean like, you know, I don't mean like, you know, they're like cool, like, you know, all up, all full of themselves. I mean like cool as in we get along. Anyway, just to clarify. So, just in the news today, one thing that I thought of was today was Kurt Loder's birthday. He turned 75. Now, we all thought that he was 75 when he was on MTV, so really, it's like time hasn't changed or moved. No, seriously, Kurt Loder was in his early 40s, like maybe younger than I am now. I'm not telling, but anyway, Kurt Loder was in his early 40s when he was on MTV as not a VJ, but like a newscaster. So it's pretty cool that like MTV wasn't ageist about the whole thing, because you know 42 is really old. But anyway, but like you know they wanted somebody seasoned who could really handle like music news. But yeah, it's kind of shocking to hear that he's 75. It just makes you think of your own mortality. Anyway, so that's enough chatting from me. Let's bring on the guest, who is my dear friend, Miz Stefani. How did I first meet Miz Stefani?
Hi.
Hi!
What's going on?
It's like we're hanging out.
I know, it is like we're hanging out. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And we didn't have to get on the subway.
Yeah, we didn't even have to travel or, like, do anything.
For once, I know, right? How's it going up there?
It's okay. I mean, outside the wet legs, I'm out of my apartment for like an hour a day, and that's about it. Let me know if I sound garbled or if I pixelate or anything magical like that.
Okay.
By the way, I wanted to show you these. If you could read backwards, I will give them to you, actually.
Wait, what is that? Almond?
These are Trader Joe's almond flour chocolate chip cookies.
Wait a second. Oh my god, I have not seen those. So first of all, as you know, I'm stuck in, I'm quarantined down in Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
They have one Trader Joe's here, and it's like far out.
If there were any in Nashville, I didn't see one the entire time that I was there. So
they might not have one there.
Whole Foods and my Nashvillian, what kind of word is that anyway? Friends could correct me if they want. All you have to do to add to this is like almond milk, vanilla, and like vegan butter. You don't even have to add eggs to it.
I love that. I'm glad that they're doing like more gluten-free mixes now. I mean, of course, that'll hurt my industry, but I don't think that it will have that much of an impact on it because I've got my own secret recipes.
Right. So how are things then in Memphis? All the way to Memphis.
So I haven't done a lot of walking in Memphis. Because there's really not a lot of places to walk here. I will say that over the since I've been coming here on and off since September, I've been to Beale Street 3 times, and the first time was on...
Beale Street for people like me who don't know what Beale Street is. Okay,
so Beale Street is like the street here. So like, I think in Nashville, like Broadway is like the main strip, right? Okay, so here it's Beale Street, downtown Memphis. And so the first time I ever went there was in like 2003. I was like going on a cross-country road trip with a friend of mine. And, of course we like went to Graceland, we had ribs, and then we like went to Beale Street and we like went to this random bar. And we were sitting there and he was like, no, you sit in this chair. So we're sitting at a table facing each other. And we're sitting there, we have our drinks, which by the way, like every bar we went to, I'd be like, let me get 2 drinks. And they were like, okay, $7.50. I'm like, no, I'm paying for 2. And they're like, yeah, $7.50. I'd be throwing the money down and like getting away. Because I'm like, they had to have made a mistake. Anyway, we're sitting at this bar and I keep feeling something
like... What is this, 1991? Anyway.
Yeah, 2003. So I feel something like nibbling at my butt. And I'm like, what the hell? And I turn around, and there were goats in this bar. And my friend like thought, you probably know what bar it is. And my friend thought it was like, he thought it was like the funniest thing because he of course saw it and I didn't notice. And people would like feed beer to these goats. It was I don't remember the name of it. But anyway, what? I don't know what it was called. It was something O'Sullivan, something O'Sullivan maybe. I think that was it. With the goats. So anyway, yeah. So I went to Beale Street 2003. Since I've been here on and off since September. I went on Christmas night, and it was empty practically. And then the second time I went was maybe I've only been there 3 times, and the third time I went with a friend during the lockdown, and it was like completely a ghost town. We were driving. First of all, you can't drive on Beale Street. We were driving on Beale Street. So I have footage. If you check back, I don't know if I put it in my story or if I put it on my actual Instagram page. But anyway, so Beale Street, which is like the main place. There's probably, how many venues do you think are there? There's probably like, what, 50?
More like 20.
Maybe there's 20. I don't know. I'm a bad judge. Okay, well, they're revitalizing downtown Memphis. I don't know what the state of everything is now, but a New York firm has actually like invested $8 billion to basically gentrify Memphis. I think that's where they're going with this. After living through that in Brooklyn, I'm like, y'all don't even know what's coming, and it's gonna suck.
You're like, should I move to like Sheboygan?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you should, because I mean, every place, it has that moment where it's like hype and it gets all the yoga studios and the natural organic things and whatever, and the artisan bread places and the coffee shops, and then that's it. The people that gave the city its charm, they get priced out.
Right. It's happened here too, obviously, in New York.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Like, East Village used to be cool. Like, even like 10 years ago, it was dating. And it was still like affordable somewhat 15, sorry, 10, 15, maybe 20 years ago. But like, yeah, like, I mean, now you go to the East Village and it's like, no, you're not supposed to. But it's really
what was I reading?
Here, you know,
You didn't like
the neighborhood.
Didn't Target, or there was like a chain, some chain that I was like, oh my god, I couldn't believe that it opened on St. Mark's Place.
Was it Starbucks?
It was something else, because I know Starbucks was there. I want to say like Chick-fil-A or something, but it was like something really crazy.
Huh.
Anyway, all I know is that everything's been gentrified in New York now. They put a Starbucks in my neighborhood, but that thing was open for like 5 minutes and then it closed down because nobody went there. So yeah, Clinton Hill. So
I noticed when he's opening Crown Heights, I'm like, what's next? People are walking shelters, so I want a shelter.
Oh, I want to say hi to Lorenzo, showing some love. Thanks for showing some love. I hope you're well and everything is good in Jersey.
Aw. I don't know Lorenzo, but hey! I'm getting bad feedback on my end. Do I see anybody else? Well, hello, everybody who chimed in or showed up. Let's just do that. Anyway, so, what's like some cool things to see in Memphis? Because I've never been there. I've only been to Nashville like once, but it took me forever to get there.
So, I will say, like, I really do. Okay, these are all coming from perspective of somebody who basically was, here and like trying to make things happen and explore and just kind of following whatever I fell into. So I bounced around the city a couple times. So Midtown Memphis is kind of like what even cross the bridge and walk. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can walk to Arkansas. And but it's really nice. Well, no, it's funny because the first week that I was here, I had a situation. I had to go to the hospital, and my coworker was like, he was like, "We're gonna put you in a car. Like it's okay. Like we're gonna get you out to this hospital out that was like 45 minutes away." I was like, "Aren't there? Like they have a section of the city like they have Midtown, downtown, the Edge District, the Pinch District, and then they have the Medical District." So I'm like, why didn't they just send me to a hospital that was right there? They were like, you don't want to go there. But anyway, I got in the car, the cab or whatever, the Lyft car, and the lady, I'm all like, I wasn't feeling well. And I had a bacterial infection, by the way, from a restaurant, but that's another story. So she was like, honey, we're going to take real good care of you. Don't you worry. I'm going to get you out there. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great. She's like, let me just give you a little bit of history stuff from where I picked you up in 9 minutes. You could be in Mississippi, and in 11 minutes, you could be in Arkansas. And I was like, you're not really selling this area to me. But it has a charm all its own. The thing that threw me off the most about here, I would say, is that's an open carry state. So everybody carries a gun, apparently, and people were like, oh, you'll get a gun soon enough. I was like, no, I probably won't because I don't want a gun, and I know how to use one, but I don't really want one.
Maybe if it's water, or maybe if it shoots water, or
no, I think I'm like, okay, so somebody says Memphis has the best barbecue. So I'm not a big meat eater, but I did have barbecue. I did go to Central Barbecue, I think. Central Barbecue. Barbecue nachos. Those are good. I can see myself slipping into getting barbecue and drinking sweet tea because that shit is good. But
I like tea.
yeah, sweet tea. But my teeth, I was like, I'm gonna get a cavity from having this. But yeah. So since I've been here, I've gotten to check out some really, really, really cute venues. I don't know how old some of these like B-side. My friend is here, and he can tell me if I'm not giving you the right facts or if I'm saying something wrong. Right, he's live fact checking. So like B-side, like that seems kind of like it's a newer venue, like it's older. Yeah, so there's a lot of like, and like the third and court, the lounge. Yeah, so whereas like New York, I feel like a lot of the smaller venues that we used to perform at, like Fontana's and all this, like they're all closing. You know, just like I'm trying to think of some of the names of some of the ones in Brooklyn that even closed. You know, they're all, yeah. I mean, everything just like gets shut down. So they're kind of having a bit of a resurgence here. I mean, this is a music city. It's like every person, like the guy you meet at Home Depot is like, yeah, I have a band. It's like everybody has bands. And, you know, no, it is really cool. And like everyone is just so good here. So you can go, like when I first got back down here in March, I literally went out like every night. It's like, okay, I went to Fernando's Hideaway, which is Dale Watson. He built this venue that just opened a few months ago, right? So that just opened. Third and Court, which is really nice. It's like a downstairs, like in, I don't know what, it's a hotel. But it's like a cute little room, and they have like jazz night, and then I went in there and I was like, I could do like a cabaret like theme show. It's just set up perfectly for that. B-side, I guess it's more like independent. I mean, it's just all kinds of music. Then there's like this gigantic place that people should look up. It's called the Crosstown. Is it called Crosstown Arts Center or Crosstown Concourse?
It's Crosstown Arts Center.
Okay.
In the Crosstown Concourse. It's like a house.
Yeah, so it's like, it used to be the Sears headquarters, like the worldwide Sears headquarters. I mean, worldwide, I don't know how global it was when Sears opened in the 1800s or whatever, but so it was the world headquarters for Sears. So it's a giant building. And I guess when Sears went out of business and it just sat, I think the building sat empty for a while, right? Since about 1990, and then they came in, they took this building, and now it has apartments in it. It has a health center, it has restaurants, it has a theater, it has a music venue, it has a bar.
Cool.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It has a parking garage. It's incredible. And the health center there was actually started. I mean, I know I'm covering all these topics because I've discovered so many amazing things down here. It's been great. It's been mind-blowing, actually. There was a guy who went to theology, a seminary. He was studying to be, I'm not sure what denomination he was, but he went on some kind of he got all the way through, he finished theology school, decided he wanted to be a doctor, so he went to medical school. And then after he finished medical school, he said, now where can I really have the biggest impact? So he came to Memphis, Tennessee, because it was they had the highest amount of people that were uninsured. And he opened a not-for-profit clinic. So if you don't have insurance, yeah, I mean, so many people, it's so nice. I actually had to visit it because I was just had a little situation. I need to get checked out, and I'm, here, and I don't have, insurance for the state of Tennessee. I went there. Oh my God. They were like, we'll take care of you. They took care of me. So kudos to the Church Health Center, Crosstown, which is just an amazing place. It really has a big theater, and then a smaller, really nice, smaller music capacity performance space called the Green, what's it called? The Green Room? The Green Room. It's right next door to the art bar. It's super cool. Central Station Hotel, they just opened that. It's a hotel that's connected to the train station, which I was like, I've never seen a train station. The train comes directly, you don't have to leave the hotel. But even in New York, even Penn Station, there's no hotel. I mean, there's one next door, the New York hotel. But this one, it's right in there, and they have a retro lounge. They only play vinyl, and they only play Memphis artists or something that has to do with Memphis.
Speaking of Memphis artists, isn't Memphis also the home for Stax Records?
Stax Records, Ardent Records, Sun Studios is down here. American Studios. What?
American Studios also has the studio called
Easily.
The White Stripes and Jeff Buckley.
Jeff Buckley and the White Stripes record. I don't know if you can hear him. I'm relaying everything. Jeff Buckley actually died here. This is where he drowned, right off of Jefferson Street, which is really sad. They have Mud Island here. They have the Memphis in May Festival was supposed to be like this past weekend, where the Tom Lee Park is just like, it's just covered. And I mean, it's nice. Like I said, you can walk all the way down the Mississippi, all the way to the Bass Pro Shop, which is a giant pyramid over the Hernando de Soto Bridge. So they still have trolleys here. The trolleys that run, they're $1. You can go like all the way practically to Midtown on them. I mean, because it's a car city, so you know you kind of need a car. But I mean, there's just a lot of little. It's a small town. It's like not what I obviously have been used to for the last 20 years. But you know, people are just. It's been very magical, and like people will just talk to you. Like I was at the juice bar, ended up in line. Some lady started talking. By the time she left, she was giving me her card. So I don't know, like.
How are you, speaking of food bar and all things healthy, how are you dealing with like gluten-free options down there?
So there are not a lot, believe it or not. There's not a lot of gluten-free options here, but when I was living downtown, I was like, you know, I did a search online for gluten-free food, and believe it or not, I found this amazing place called Bedrock Eats. It's all gluten-free. It's completely, everything on their menu is gluten-free, and they have everything from salads to like a whole waffle menu. It's like, it's ridiculous. I mean, if you want to drool, just look up that menu because it's like ridiculous. They make pizzas, they do macro foods, they like put like, you know, to go, you know, meals together. Fresh stuff. It's really, really, it was a gem. It was a block from where I was staying. So I was eating there quite often. But they do have a Whole Foods here, and they also have Sprouts. And then
I love Sprouts.
Sprouts is cool. And then like they have a fresh market. I mean, it's weird because it's not an entirely large city, even though you need a car. And then like downtown, there's no grocery stores downtown. None.
There's no restaurants downtown?
No, there's restaurants. There's no grocery stores.
Oh. Yeah, where are you going to, you got to eat somewhere. You go to restaurant.
Amazon Prime delivery if there was a time I didn't have a car or ride. But I don't know how that's working now because I think probably a lot of people are doing that now. I mean, everything is weird right now. I don't know what to say. But
the world is ended, basically.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my friends have chickens in their yard. Like they raise chickens and they have chickens, so they have fresh eggs. I haven't seen a lot of like people who are doing allotment spaces and stuff like that. But you know, I'm hoping to launch my gluten-free baked goods down here because the community kitchen down here, it's like it starts at like $11 an hour, and they just don't have a lot of gluten-free stuff here. They have a really cute farmers market in Cooper Young, and then they have one like downtown as well. They just got a movie theater downtown. I mean, they're just, it's like literally being here, I feel like I'm like 15 to 20 years behind what I left.
Well, I felt kind of similarly about Nashville because, like, I heard that there were like 2 vegan restaurants and 1 vegan bakery, and I was like, Nashville's supposed to be like amazing and hip. Am I just did I get off the wrong turn here? You know?
Did you go to the Flying V? Because I think that was the vegan place I went to when I was there.
Which one did I didn't go? Yeah, that is the one I went to.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, it was decent. Like, it was like one of the only places we could walk to where we were staying when I was in Nashville. Yeah. But, I mean, that's why, I mean, this region, it's just like, you know, even in New York, after traveling around the world a lot, not a lot, but like traveling as I've traveled around the world, like, New York is actually really far behind the whole gluten-free food situation.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Like, they don't have separate menus. They don't have, you know, a lot of like gluten-free options, and like half the time the servers don't even, I mean, a lot of people don't know what gluten-free, like what it means or what it actually encompasses, but you know, even in Australia, they were like, yeah, we've got a separate menu for you, and like even here, a lot of characters.
I don't understand why people think it's difficult. It basically means like anything with gluten, so no wheat, especially.
Wheat, barley, oats, and rye.
Yeah, so
Soy sauce.
sometimes oats are gluten-free, I see, though. Is that wrong?
I mean, look, I'm gonna say, like, I was in the hospital once in New York, and like they served me food, and I opened the thing, and I was like, "Oh, is this French toast gluten-free?" And the people serving the food at the hospital still didn't know. This whole thing, they're probably like, "God, you go to the hospital a lot." Anybody that's like paying attention, but like, I actually don't. But like, two of the stories that I had, like, you know, they tried to serve me food, and I was like, "This is not." They didn't know, and it took 3 people that I had to ask because they didn't know what that meant.
Ridiculous. So let's pivot a little bit and talk about what you've been working on.
All right. Well, this is like a short little story. So I was down here, ended up meeting people on my own. A friend of mine was like, "Hey, I want to come down." I said, "Great, you know, come down. Let's do this. I'll get some songs together for you." I had some backing tracks, and then I was like, "I need to put the vocals on so we could learn them." So I went. My friend that I met here, he said, "Just come to the studio. I'll record for you." You know, I said, "Great. It'll take 30 minutes, whatever." So I'm in there, and the studio manager is like, "Wow, you know, you have a really great voice. What are you trying to do with your music?" And we started talking, and you know, he was like, "Can I play you something?" And he played me this girl, Louise Page, who's from here. She's an amazing musician. She's got a really fun band, the whole night. And I said to him, I go, "Oh, that's crazy." I said, "That's kind of like the vibe that I'm, you know, trying to put together." And so he was like, "Let's do it. You know, let's record you know, your stuff down here and whatever." And I said, "Okay." You know, I said, "This sounds great, but unless you're going to actually come at me with a real number that I can work with, like, we could just talk about this all day." So a couple days later, he did. He came back with a number, and I was like, "Okay." Once again, being from New York, I was like, No, is this for the whole thing?" And he said, "Yeah, this is for the whole thing. Studio buyout, the musicians, the mix, the whole thing." And I said, "Let's do it." So I was like, I'm just going to make the decision to do it. And like, that's where I'm going from there. So I booked everything, decided to just get an Airbnb once again to be within walking distance to the studio. And I was on Airbnb, and I reached out to a couple people. This one girl wrote me back, and I said, "Listen, would you work with a flat rate for this amount of time?" She said, "Yeah, I can help you. You know, let's talk. And what kind of music do you do?" And she's like, "Oh," and she happens to work she writes grants for blues foundations. She's been in Memphis for like 17 years or something. So she's like, "You need these players on your album." And I was like, "Okay." I didn't know who they were, but I sent them to the co-producer, and he was like, "Yes, this is great. This is exactly the direction we're going in, but you don't have the budget for these people." And I was like, "All right, well, whatever." So I came down, and I guess just because Memphis is such a small place, I ended up actually meeting all the people she mentioned by one way or another, just going out to gigs, like, you know, going to see the people I did know go play. I'm like, "Let me go to their gig. They're playing tonight." And it all came together. One of the guys that she mentioned actually ended up being on the album. So it's a rock soul / Americana extravaganza. All songs that were written in the last like couple, I'd say like almost 2 years now, because I've been on a real focused songwriting kick, learning to play guitar. And so that's what I've been doing like this quarantine, because I literally have my laptop, my moon calendar, one journal, and my phone. And like that's all the remnants from home that I left with over 2 months ago. And I was supposed to be back in New York at the end of March, and I'm here still. So, and I don't know when I'm going to get back, but the album is done. It's mastered. I've got the album art together, and I got to figure out, like, now's the part where I say, am I going to do like CDs? Because I don't even have a way to play a CD anymore. Or do I just do Like, do I do some vinyl? I don't know. I don't know what people. I don't know. Do I do
Vinyl's always cool, in my opinion. You get more grooves.
Wait, say that one more time.
I said vinyl's always cool, in my opinion. You get more grooves.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So we'll just see. It's like, you know, everybody's like losing their job, so I'm like, I don't want to make too grand of a plan because, like, I don't know what my monetary situation is gonna be, but you know, I am hoping that by this summer, I'll have something, you know, the physical something out that I can get out there. And I don't know what's going to happen with like live shows here, but I do have a very good friend that is a travel agent and she does bands. I mean, she's like, you know, celebrity like musicians, you know, people who are already like famous and touring, and everything's cut off. But in some ways, I'm like, well, this region that I'm in right now, which is definitely caters to rock and soul singers such as myself. But you know, there's so also where we are in Memphis here. I am under 6 hours from Nashville, St. Louis, Clarksdale, Mississippi, which is the birthplace of the blues. I mean, the blues is all around here. I mean, it's just like the trails that go through here. Y'all right over there? Atlanta and New Orleans. So, and Alabama. Who goes there? I mean, I'm sure people go. I mean, are there venues there?
Not really. I mean, some, yeah.
Okay. All right, Alabama. I'll add that to the list. But, you know, Atlanta, New Orleans, Nashville, St. Louis, and then Clarksdale. Clarksdale, I actually went to Clarksdale. I had the opportunity to hang out with Morgan Freeman. And then later that week, I got to sing in his club. So Chris Ingram, Kingfish, I think he was just nominated for a Grammy. That he's from Clarksdale. Clarksdale is like the home of like I mean, there's so many people. I mean, I didn't realize this until I went there. This is just like this whole region. Like my whole life has just been flyover territory, pretty much for me, because I just was not familiar with it.
Maybe this is where you're supposed to be.
I mean, maybe I don't know, but
I feel like I'm supposed to be there.
Yeah, there you go.
I screwed in Memphis. That was kind of more fun.
I mean, it's really great. Like so far, I mean, the overall attitude of Memphis, which I find really great, is that everybody has this. Like St. Jude's is headquartered here. Actually, a lot of companies are headquartered here. FedEx is headquartered here. They have like the highest capita of billionaires per like something in the country, because like a lot of like GlaxoSmithKline is headquartered here. FedEx, something else just opened here that they were like, oh, the headquarters is going to be there. So which is interesting about FedEx is because now this is the headquarters. So any FedEx like thing that goes from international lands in Memphis first, and then it's like it goes out from there. So like we may have some of the freshest sushi in the country. That's where I'm getting with that. And maybe my Amazon Prime stuff will probably be here quicker. Hey, I'm just looking for, you know, silver linings.
It took me over a week to get something that was supposed to be there in a day.
Yeah, because
then it was like a week and a half, and I'm confused now. Well, anyway, you said you wanted to play a song, right?
Yeah, we can do a song for you. We would love to.
I would love to.
All right, give us 1 second. He's just washing his hands because that's what we do every 5 seconds now.
It's a thing.
It is a thing. Also, it's very sunny here. Apparently, they told me that they don't really get snow here, so I was like, sold. Sold, I'll be here. I mean, I was here on Christmas, and like it was like 65, 70 degrees. I went out to a bar Christmas night, and like I wasn't even wearing a jacket. So I was like, okay, I dig this. All right. Yeah, I was like, cover it. Yeah. Hopefully, you'll be able to hear the guitar. I hear it. All right, so should we just do
2 or 1?
Should we do 2 songs or 1 song?
You can do 2 if you'd like. I don't see why not.
All right. So this song is called "The Prey." give you my love, I get nothing back. Was a one so high when I fell so fast. Did you light this flame just to blow it out? Oh no. What you gonna do? You just stand there while I walk away. Nothing you can say now can make me wanna stay. Now my heart's the hunter and you're the prey. Ooh, freedom tastes so minty fresh. Not like those stale cigarettes. You could give me just a little bit more. This love's not a revolving door. You just stand there while I walk away. Nothing you can say now can make me wanna stay. Now my heart's the hunter and you're the prey. Out of sight, out of mind, honey, you are out of time. Out of sight, out of mind, honey, you are out of time. Out of sight, out of mind, honey, you are out of time. What you gonna do? You just stand there while I walk away. Nothing you can say now can make me wanna stay. Now my heart's the hunter and you're the prey. I said my heart's the hunter and you're the prey. It's called prey.
That's very nice.
Thank you. So yeah, like I'll probably put a single out and then do you want to hear one more?
Sure.
Obviously these are not acoustic on the album, but you know, this is what we're breaking it
And
down.
there's something about a song sung acoustically that would sound so vulnerable. So
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Well, I like it. I mean, you can't break it down acoustically anyway. It's like, I don't know, you have to be able to do that. So that's how they start anyway, right? So it's fun to add to them. Hopefully one day when I can do live performance again, I'll have my whole band up there. Because we got brass, everything. The whole nine. It's really good. So this one.
Does Corey want to come on screen and say hi or rather?
He doesn't, he's very camera shy.
Okay.
Interesting. I don't know. So anyway, this is called Joyride.
Okay.
Classy and clean, a well-oiled machine. You came looking in the right lot. One of a kind, take me for a test drive. Don't walk away now, you got the key. He's burning up inside, I can see it in his eyes. He walks open road and unlimited fast. I'll be your joyride. If you treat me right, keep my wheels loud and right. I'll be your joyride. Take me home tonight. Keep up the speed, don't spin out. Along the highways, passing the interstate. I wanna know if you're wrong like I roll. Keep me well maintained, keep my tires changed. Don't let this engine get run down. I'll be your joyride if you treat me right. Keep my wheels everybody picked up a little bit about Memphis. I think it's a really underrated, magical, wonderful city. And I think, given everything that's going on, I do think that there's going to be a bit of a resurgence here. So stay tuned, everybody. And however long I'm here, you know what? Come visit when we can travel again.
That's right. Well, maybe I'll come down and visit for a week.
There you go. Come on down.
Come on
back now. You hear?
Bye. Bye, Stephanie. Love you.
I love you too. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Everybody stay safe out there and keep it alive.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh.